Hey everybody, welcome again to another episode of Just for Fun Games, and we are back with the next in the MCU TV shows. I'm your host Dazzy, that's my friend Roy, and we're gonna be talking about the first episode of Loki that now comes out on Hump Day because Loki has to be weird like that,
Yeah,
chaotic, mischievous. But
that's not
hey,
very
I don't care.
mischievous of you.
So if you aren't in the know, we've gotten the third and final MCU TV show on Disney Plus uh that we know of for this year. It's a six-part
Uh,
series starring the Asgardian god Loki, as he was from Avengers Endgame, the variant or the
the scene when he
alternate
takes
reality version
takes the Tesseract.
of yeah. Um, so I was actually really surprised from the jump that this episode was actually like 45 minutes. I was expecting it to be a half hour. But there was a lot of legwork that I had to do for the premise and the setup.
Oh yeah.
Um, what I liked from the jump was that what we see is this is still Loki before he's had a lot of his reality checks. Like this is before uh
Basically,
Thor the Dark World.
every other MCU movie after the Avengers,
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
he hasn't
But you got
said
but you
all
got
those.
but there's a yeah, but there's a lot of character growth that goes on in all of those movies that he makes his appearances in. And so the moment he lands, because like I thought it was like a really nice homage, because it reminded me like the crater and all the pieces from like I guess the restraints that were binding him. It looked like Tony after he had first
Yeah.
escaped from imprisonment. And then the moment he gets there, and then people show up, he's right there, back to the act. And there's this great through line about maintaining the illusion of being strong.
Mhm.
And when he's captured by the TVA, who appear through a time gate and clock him upside his fucking face at 1/16th the time frame.
Oh yeah. You're
Yeah, yeah,
feeling
yeah.
all
That was
this in real time. I'm like, oh, you suck.
that was oh, that was cool. That was cool. Uh, but as he's going through processing, which we can go into further detail in a little bit, but as he's going through processing, you can see that they're literally peeling away the layers of bravado that he's sealed himself in.
Mhm.
So, like, just as a character piece, like there wasn't a lot of action, there wasn't a lot of excitement in this episode, but as a character piece, this episode was
Oh
fucking
yeah.
stellar.
No, now like for like WandaVision, like the first episode of WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that was like real slow burn. It was kind of a weird way to start a new series. It was like I don't really know where it's going until later on in episodes it starts to get you in. This one for me got me in from the jump. Because when they are talking, like we already getting the theory lists setting out on all this craziness that's going on now. Now, when you start messing with time and multiverses, and then it's going to be crazy. I hope it
Oh, yeah.
fills a lot of holes that the MCU has, and I can't wait to see what happens next after this. Because they're gonna have to talk about something's happening to the multiverse, because we wouldn't have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh yeah. With WandaVision, what you had this like this very period piece homage kind of first episode that ends with a bit of intrigue that tries to grab you as if it's like the Twilight Zone. Uh with uh with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it starts off as this big action piece, and then it gets more into the grounded sense of reality that show was entrenched in. And with Loki, it's very much the fish out of water, and uh, effectively tearing down the king and making him realize that this entire time he's been naked. So uh, Loki has this line. and I love how they use it later on in the
Yeah,
episode.
it's like twice they used
Uh,
it.
yeah. By the way,
Oh yeah. full s- full spoilers if you haven't finished
assume
watching this
we're
episode.
hoping, yes, we're hoping that you've seen the episode because we're far too excited to try and speak in reserve. It's really hard, especially with the MCU, to talk about anything related to it without going into specific details. Because I can't remember what comedian referred to it as, like the MCU, the movies with the tie-in shows and what have you, is the longest uh serialized TV show. Period. Like if you're in it, then you're in it deep. You're not just
Yeah.
like dipping your fucking toes in. So we're just going to assume that you have seen it. If not, go ahead, dip out, spend 45 minutes enjoying a very character-centric first episode to a really good series, and then come back and then listen to us talk about it. Thank you very much. But to get back to what I was saying, so after suffering through um after suffering through processing, and Loki seems to be just at the point of being reset and erased from existence. Owen Wilson's character, Morbius, shows up,
Mobius.
and
Thank you.
Mobius, I'm sorry. I'm
Say
sorry.
Mobius is a whole nother character, bro. We ain't even touched that movie yet.
You're thinking of Morpheus.
No, it's is it? Oh, I thought it was Morbius. I'm pretty sure the vampire from Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure, man. We'll stop this.
No,
Damn
I'm
it.
just saying
Stop it
it's hard.
straight.
It's hard.
Morpheus is the
But I
guy
know,
from fucking
but
Matrix.
I know what I was going into. I remember that the guy's name sounded like Morpheus, but
It's
it wasn't
Mobius.
Morpheus.
Yeah, it's Mobius.
Owen Owen Wilson's character.
Wow.
Hey
Oh,
gosh.
oh, wow.
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 That poor man. Uh, he pulls Loki aside because he feels like that Loki could be of use to him and his job, where he hunts down um, dangerous variants. A
Mm,
variant in this series is someone who steps off of the established and approved of timeline that the TVA polices. So in the course of it, he shows Loki scenes from his life where he's effectively trying to break him down and figure out, what's inside, and whether or not Loki enjoys violence and murder. Um, and Loki says this line is that, referring to the TVA in general, that this whole thing is just an illusion created by the weak to pretend that they're strong. And by the end of the episode, once he comes to terms with his situation and his fate, he remarks that that line effectively
repeats
is
itself.
him.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't enjoy violence. He doesn't enjoy hurting people or killing people, but it's a part of the illusion to make him appear strong. Because that's the majority of what Loki is. He's constantly trying to play the role to the point where he's trying to figure out who and what he is. He thought he was Asgardian until it was revealed that he wasn't. And then he doubled down to try and be that much more Asgardian by accomplishing what he felt like Thor and his father couldn't do with his intelligence and his cunning, taking out the frost giants, eliminating them entirely. Like, look at me, Dad, I'm worthy. I took care of our greatest enemy, right? Right? You love me now, right? Completely blind to the notion that his father always loved him. He just assumed that his father wouldn't love him because his whole sense of identity was thrown out the window. And then you have in the Avengers movie, he's trying to be like working within the paradigm that he's in. He's kind of like under Thanos' thumb, but nonetheless, I don't want to go on a giant tangent.
You know, this whole time we've been ranting, or you've been ranting. What did you think about the episode?
Oh, I thought it was great.
Okay.
I would say it's a solid 8.5. Uh I wouldn't sit there and say it's a 9 or a 10 because I did feel its length. It had to spend a lot of time doing setup. But on a second viewing, there were a lot of really great little things that I picked up on that I thought were really cool. Like how um when Loki's trying to make his escape, and he again, um, further supporting the notion that he's trying to maintain this illusion of bravado, this threatening persona. He makes his like he's able to make his way back to the front desk where he tries to intimidate Casey in order to give him the Tesseract thing, and that's going to be his key to escaping. So just like a moment before, after he gets Casey's name, he looks down, he thinks about it, he's like, okay, and scene. It's like, give me the Tesseract, or I'll gut you like a fish. And then he's completely disarmed when it's like, what's a fish? What do you mean, what's a fish? So he's like, oh, you want that? Sure, here you go. And then, like, in the drawer, he sees all the Infinity Stones from multiple different alternate realities that had been deleted. And in a place that deals with so much time, the first gem he pulls out from that drawer is the Time Stone. I thought that was cool.
I didn't pick up on that.
Easter egg.
I didn't pick up on that. I was like, oh yeah, you could go back in time and fix all this mess. But I really enjoyed it. I would give it a 9. I mean, it's not the action packed, MCU style first episode. It said,
it doesn't.
It's very. This episode is basically, hey, this what's happened. This is what's going on. This is what's going to happen later. Get your mind.
Disarming.
Yeah, get your mindset. Like, this is the timeline stuff. I forget what is the Keepers of Time or something like that. Yeah, talking about them.
The Timekeepers.
The Timekeepers, and it's all. Anyway, motherfuckers taking care of time, okay? So, but
they tease this idea that the reason why the Timekeepers started the TVA in the first place and maintained the sacred timeline is that because some point in the past there was effectively the multiverse.
The multiverse,
and all
war
these
or
alternate
something.
realities were warring with each other and almost resulted in the destruction of all creation. So the Timekeeper showed up, consolidated everything into the primary timeline, and worked to maintain that. Which is why you were asking, is like, this has to lead into the Multiverse of Madness. And honestly, if I were to say anything, I feel like this series is going to end with Loki dismantling the TVA, or Wanda in effect, or Loki coming to the point where he's actually working with the TVA, only for Wanda to ruin the whole thing. And then it's like left as a cliffhanger as to like, we'll know it's Wanda because it'll probably be like a big Scarlet explosion or something. But the TVA is going down. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, something has to go down.
There's been other people on the internet that have already theorized that like the next Thanos level event is going to be what's referred to as Secret Wars in the comics, where the multiverses are effectively colliding with each other, and it results in a single planet made out of chunks of the multiverse. And once that event has passed and everything's kind of like reset and fixed, characters from other universes stick around in the main universe. So that could be how we actually get like a age appropriate Miles Morales without having to wait another like 10 years, because I imagine he had to be like 6 in the first Spider-Man movie. If you take the Miles Davis reference to his nephew.
Yeah, we'll see.
Who knows?
But
yeah, we'll see.
But like you said, TVA going down, because that's what I was thinking the whole time. It's like, all right. And the other thing is like Mobius's like interest in Loki is to hunt down this guy that's apparently killing all the agents, and apparently the guy he's hunting down is Loki himself.
Oh, it's not going to be a guy.
It's not
going to be a guy.
I don't think it's Loki. I don't think it's Loki at all.
Oh, I think it's Loki, but it's not going to be male Loki. It's going to be female Loki. Yeah.
Okay.
I bet you.
Yeah.
It's
fuck, man. This show's already getting good. This shit better be real. The theories for WandaVision was so bust. These theories for this show already are getting out of hand because you're talking about time and multiverses.
Well, a lot of people got really excited when they were when the show first dropped. The multitude of Easter eggs, one of which being, if you freeze frame on the profile like the form that gives like sparse information about Loki. Under sex, it says fluid because Loki, traditionally in the comics and in mythology, like the source material, Loki would shapeshift into whatever sex or species that he wanted to. Like, uh, hey, here's something you probably didn't know about Norse mythology. You might have heard that Odin had a steed that had 6 legs, and it was the largest and most powerful steed in all the land. Yeah, that thing is Loki's son.
Oh yeah.
Loki gave birth to it. There's this whole
Anyway,
no, I'm just saying, like, this just to give you an example, that's kind of
I
that's
don't think we're
where
gonna
the
be
source material.
seeing no giving birth
No,
here in
of
the
course not. No, of
MCU.
course not. Of course not. But that's the point. Like, because I'm sure there are gonna be people who don't know shit about it, who it's like, they're just trying to shoehorn some woke bullshit into the MCU. It's like, no, this is
Mm.
established lore both from the comics because female Loki is very prominent in the comics, like he appears in that form when he feels like it, uh, and from the mythology. Uh, but going back to the show itself, uh, a lot of those emotional moments that we got
Oh,
from like the Loki who died, like our Loki, we really didn't get to sit there and see his emotional reaction for much of it. Like, um, we never really get to see him process those emotions. Like when he inadvertently sends the dark elves to kill his mom. We get to see the moment he finds out, and he shoves everything away, and we get to see Thor confront him and see him disheveled in the aftermath of his grief. Well, we don't get to see him dealing with it. Or when he sees not only his father passing, but also his father acknowledging him as a son, something that he couldn't accept when Odin tried to tell him in the first Thor movie. Um, and the whole scene with Thor in Ragnarok, that was a great emotional scene. So often the emotional scenes or the
yeah,
big emotional moments for Loki got sped through in the original movie, but here we had a fresher version of Loki who had to sit there like a movie and see it from the outside, and that, oh
yeah.
my god,
Hey, look,
all
I,
my heartstrings
yeah,
is just pulling the whole thing.
yeah. Like, even not to say that there might be a fucking TVA in real life. If I was in that situation and I saw the shit being played back to me, like to the damn end, I'd be freaking the hell out. Um, and yeah, and especially when he saw his death and everything, that was emotional because I was like, okay, maybe he didn't die, and then the film ends and it says end of file. So that was technically
Yeah,
he wasn't coming back after that. So that put
yeah,
the seal certification of death, you know, on Loki.
yeah. Uh, and again, if you didn't think Loki cared about his mom, cared
Oh
about
yeah,
Frigg, the moment Owen Wilson throws in his face that it's your fault she died, you thought you were sending them. And because I actually always wondered that it's like you might want to try the stairs to the left. I wondered what Loki was actually was actually doing there. I know that he was effectively helping them just because I imagine because he didn't think that they were actually going to do anything. But same with how he helped the Frost Giants sneak in the first Thor movie. I figured he was doing that to be an asshole. But if he was trying to send them to Thor, but then without his knowledge, he sent them and they encounter Frigg. The moment after Owen Wilson shows him that shit, he stands up, is like, "Where do you have her?" 'Cause he still doesn't believe that this is something that is going to happen. He thinks that they have Frigg, and he immediately leaps up to try and see if he could save her. It's like,
too bad, so sad.
uh,
Trying to think. Uh, because I about to say I had the little plot thing here.
well,
Yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to see. Yeah, the whole yeah. Only thing I think we're missing is the whole courtroom thing with the judge and was sentenced to be reset. And I actually like that judge. I was sitting there when I was watching it the first time. I was like, I seen this judge in another movie. The actress name is where is it? Where'd it go? Just had it. Gugu Mbatha Raw. And I was like, I've seen this actress before. She played in the Cloverfield Paradox. I don't know if you've seen that. Uh,
Oh no, I was happy to see the agent for the TVA, the primary antagonist for this episode. She was from
yeah, where was
she
she
was
from?
from shit. We just watched it on HBO. It was
HBO.
Cloverfield Lane. No, no.
No,
Uh,
I said,
uh,
damn, bro, hold
I know
up.
you're fucking with me. Shit,
We just
shit.
watched it on HBO.
The yeah.
I don't know what you watching on it. The last thing I
No,
watched, like legit watched on HBO, was fucking Mortal Kombat. Unless she was playing Goro or something undercover, she wasn't in that movie. Oh hell, here you go.
uh, oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? It's Lovecraft Country. Remember? She was the older sister from Lovecraft
Oh,
Country.
okay. Yeah. I never finished it, but I think I might
I
have saw
did. I did.
like two episodes, and I was like, I'm not feeling
It
this.
didn't necessarily end in the way that I was too happy about, but still, it was cool to see her. Um, no, like this screams predestination, and I that's not gonna fly with Loki. Like I don't foresee like he's going to obviously he's going to help the TVA because they're probably going to lead him on the notion that they're going to be able to help him to achieve something different. But that's why I feel so confident that this is going to end, even if he can't agree with the variant version of him that they're sending him to hunt down. He's going to agree with their the tenets of their ideals to tear down the TVA, and that's how the series is going to end. Either he tears down the TVA, or just before he can, Wanda will have inadvertently done it. Like they even mentioned in like the uh Miss Minutes, 1950s like PSA video, that whenever someone diverts from the sacred
Timeline.
timeline, it's a Nexus event, just like the Nexus commercial
Uh,
in WandaVision.
Stop tying this motherfucker because forgot that. It's too early to be making theories. It's too early. I say my and look, I'm gonna tell you about the one that I thought you would have probably might have said, but I'm glad you didn't. Is when Mobius goes to that church in France, and the girl is
Yeah.
eating the candy, and it's like, who did this? And she points at the ceramic glass, and it's a picture of a demon. And I was like, motherfucking Mephisto. Don't fucking say it's Mephisto because I'm sick and tired of everybody talking
No.
about this dude, and I don't care about this dude.
No, it's not Mephisto. It's funny though. It does sort of look like him, but Mephisto doesn't have horns. The horns are more attributed to Loki. Um, and one of the writers from the show actually commented on Twitter that it wasn't supposed to be a Mephisto reference, that it's
Yeah,
supposed to be Loki, and point at the horns to like certify that. Um,
gladly, because I don't need no more goddamn. It's Mephisto all along, you know. I don't need no.
I get the feeling we're just never gonna get Mephisto at all.
Mm.
Oh, another reference. Uh, when Loki is walking with Mobius and he says this place is a nightmare. And he's like, "Oh, that department, that I will help you burn down." So there's like a nightmare department, and nightmare is like a primordial entity from Marvel Comics. So I was wondering if that was supposed to be a reference to that, but why would the TVA have anything to do with nightmare? I have no idea. Like
Mm.
nightmare rules an entire like dimension on its own.
Well, TVA got a lot of work cut out for them. They're fucking with all these multiverses now. So I mean,
Yeah, no,
what's the deal? Like, is he gonna be jumping back in time to try to stop himself? Is that what's gonna happen? Because now, not only you gonna go back and like, I don't know what the whole thing does with the erased
I'm getting
device, the reset device,
it.
whatever.
It
But
literally
they still,
deletes an entire.
That
It
whole
literally deletes a branch timeline. Yeah.
okay. Because I'm sitting there like,
Well, the thing
yeah,
is like they were trying to sparse how the Avengers time traveling was planned and that it's acceptable within the sacred timeline. Um, which then makes me sit back and wonder. It's like, well, then why did the I wonder. Oh, I wonder. Because remember, the Ancient One really freaked out at the notion of removing the Time Stone because it would create a branch reality. Could she have known that the TVA would have deleted their timeline since it would have been a alternate timeline at that point?
hey, look, all right, done with this theory shit. You don't know. It happened. Okay.
It hardly matters. It hardly
Yeah, it
matters. But
happened.
nonetheless,
But I mean,
nonetheless,
she might have known something. So
I have no idea. But anyway, uh, I thought it was a really good episode. I like it. It like I said, it was a character study episode and for a very fan favorite character in the MCU, and I was glad to have it. I'm looking forward to getting more. I'm wondering if they're going to be tying in Kang the Conqueror since he's very much about time travel and shit. You would imagine he'd be like the arch nemesis
yes, I
of the
saw somebody
TVA,
on
but I I would
saw
imagine we'd only get references because he's supposed to be appearing in Quantumanium.
yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter is like they had when they were talking about Miss Minutes was talking about the timekeepers, and
Yeah.
somebody screenshotted the three animated timekeepers, and the one in the middle kind of looks like the actor that's supposed to play Craig, or yeah, Craig DeConnor. I don't know what the fuck. Kang.
Kang.
Craig. Oh, Craig. I don't give a fuck. Kang the Conqueror. So yeah, he kind of looks like him,
His
but
southern cousin, Craig the Conqueror.
I'm about to conquer this bitch. This right here gonna be my goddamn timeline. You hear? But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I just like I'll be more invested in this than I was with Captain Falcon and I mean Captain America, whatever the fuck you want to call him now. Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. The other thing that I'm really hoping to find out, very recently, just before the Loki show came out, uh, I saw someone pointing out the Easter egg that if you freeze frame it in Ant-Man 2 as they're passing through the quantum realm, it looks like there's a city in the background. And I wonder if that city is the TVA.
Hmm.
I mean,
I don't know.
time functions
Hey,
differently
look.
there.
At this point, well, fuck. Only ones in that like in the whole next lineup of MCU movies is the ones I care about because I know it has to fucking deal with time. Is fucking Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Ant-Man, and maybe Miss Marvel. Even though it doesn't have to
Miss Marvels.
it doesn't have to involve time. The Marvels, they whatever. Yeah.
Yes, the Marvels. All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. If you've seen the episode, what'd you think about it? Do you agree with some of the things we said today? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can see when we post new videos. Otherwise,
Somewhere.
we'll be back preferably next Wednesday or Thursday to put up a new review. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.
Deuces.
Thanks for visiting the TVA. Don't hesitate to let us know how we're doing.